day to start. I did my laundry, I got my groceries, I even bought a bottle of whiskey tonight. But I'm going back in time to, when was this? This was back in January, February, March, April. The 12th of April. So this was after I got back from Scotland. But the reason I'm opening this now is because it's a gentler whiskey than the stuff I got in Scotland. So later on in tonight's flight, I will be getting on to some of this stronger stuff. But right now, I have here the Shackleton McKinley's. I'll read that after I pour a dram. First, I think I'll pour a dram and then read what it says on the box. It says a few things, and I'll tell you a little bit about what I know about the whole legend of Shackleton and how this whiskey came about to be. They've made videos about it too, but I'll explain it quickly and briefly. And if you're interested in finding out more about the Shackleton, there are videos on YouTube, or at least there were last time I checked, about this particular blend. Okay, so it's nice that it has a tight-fitting cork. Makes all the right sounds. Okay. On here it says, Shackleton blended malt Scotch whisky based on an antique blend of McKinley's rare old Highland malt whisky, the spirit supplied to the 1907 British Antarctic expedition. Chas McKinley and Co., blenders and distillers, product of Scotland, and it has the signature on here. The signature says, of course, Master Blender Richard Patterson, because this stuff is from White and Mackay. And it says Expedition. Oh, even on the bottom here, 1901-03 Discovery Expedition under Captain Falcon Scott. 1907 and 1909 Nimrod Expedition to South Pole. And 1914 to 17 Imperial Transantarctic Expedition. Okay. So, it even says on here the back, so I might not even have to discover or explain things off the top of my head. I'll just say what it has here. What it says here. In the early years of the 20th century, Sir Ernest Shackleton led one of the most famous expeditions to the Antarctic, overcoming tremendous obstacles to ensure that all of his men returned home safely. That expedition is one of the greatest stories of exploration and leadership in history, and has inspired adventurers across the world ever since. Shackleton ordered 25 cases of McKinley's rare old Highland malt whisky to take on his expedition in 1907. In 2007, 11 intact bottles containing this perfectly preserved whiskey were recovered from under the ice beneath Shackleton's base camp. This has inspired our master blender Richard Patterson to create this Shackleton whiskey as a personal and deeply felt project. He has combined the best Highland malt whiskies, allowing them to marry over a long period to create an enigmatic blended malt with a dash of body and a whisper of smoke. It has complex notes of vanilla, honey, orchard fruits with real warmth and depth in its heart, like Shackleton himself. A contribution from sales of this whiskey will be made to the Antarctic Heritage Trust, New Zealand. This will support both the ongoing care of Shackleton's Antarctic base and the Trust's mission to conserve, share, and encourage the spirit of exploration, the spirit embodied by Shackleton. Okay, cool. Yeah, I received a sample of this over 2 years ago, but it was just a sample, and it wasn't really enough to evaluate, or shall we say, enjoy the whiskey. When you have a whole bottle, there's much more to enjoy than a mere sample. So here it says the same things on the front, and now I have a whole bottle. This stuff was not available when I received that sample over 2 years ago, but it became available in the last year or so locally, and I had seen it down near Port Angeles in Washington State, and I almost bought a bottle, but I thought, nah. And then it showed up, maybe 4-5 months later, 6 months later, locally. So that's when I picked it up. I'm getting fruity notes. Orchard fruits like pears and apples. I'm getting some of that maraschino cherry that you get in a Del Monte fruit cup. I'm getting just a little bit of cinnamon. What's going on? And a little bit of smoke on the nose. This smells better than I remember the sample smelling. Who knows how long the bottle had been open when the sample was sent to me? And who knows how low the bottle was when the sample was taken, and so on and so on and so on. I started my night with a quig-sized gin and tonic after bringing all my groceries and stuff home. On the palate, I'm getting a lot of vanilla. I will have a second sip naturally. On the nose, I'm getting what I was getting before. Some light orchard fruits, apples, pears, maybe a little bit of peach. That maraschino cherry from the Del Monte fruit cup. A little bit of tarry peat smoke. Just a little bit. And a little bit of peach, apricot. On the aftertaste, there's not so much fruit as there is a little bit of smoke and tar, a little ashen tar, which is all right. I like ashy tar. So there's some Isla. It's 40% alcohol by volume. This would be interesting at a higher ABV, I think. Nothing wrong with it as it is. It's a nice starter. Rare old Highland malt whiskey. So it's a blended malt. There is no grain in here. It's blended malt. So it's a blend of Highland malt. Might have a little bit of something like Ballantruin in it. Or a peated, I don't know. Some peated Highland whiskey. There's the fruit again. There's that maraschino cherry again. Hint of citrus, perhaps. A little bit of orange and lemon. There's always that little bit of smoke and that little bit of maraschino cherry. Nice. Very nice. I kind of like this. And I didn't think so much of it when I first tried it. More than 2 years ago, and it was a sample. But this would make a great starter whiskey. A little bit of smoke, a little bit of ex-bourbon, a little bit of ex-sherry cask. It's nice. It's a nice starter. After this, I would like to move on to something like a Glengarry 12 or an Open 14 or something along those lines. An old Pulteney, perhaps, like an old Pulteney 17. I almost bought old Pulteney 15 today. But there were 2 bottles of what's the name of it? The Campbelltown. Not Glen Scotia, not Kilkerran. Oh, I'm so bad. How can my memory skip this one? Some kind of mental block. Springbank. How could I possibly forget Springbank? But there were 2 bottles of Springbank 10 left. So I ended up getting that instead of the 15-year-old Old Pulteney, because they had lots of 15-year-old Old Pulteney. They had a lot of Huddart Old Pulteney, and they had a lot of 18-year-old Old Pulteney as well. So I ended up buying the 10-year-old Springbank instead because they only had 2 bottles. Yeah, this is all right. This really is all right. It's not quite a Johnny Walker Green label, but it's decent. And what did I pay? Oh, not bad at all. $59.99 plus 10 cents bottle deposit. So $60. What would be 10% of that? That would be $6 for the liquor tax and $3 for the goods and services tax. So this came at $59.99, $68.99. No. Yeah, $9 more, so $68.99. So $69.09 with the bottle deposit and all. Not bad. Not at all bad. Slanchova.
Foodquig.
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 Yeah.